Alright, everyone, welcome to Duskers, the finest work-from-home/space janitor simulator on the market today, or in 2014. With your crack team of space roombas, basically you're going around cleaning junk off the floor of various spaceships, trying to piece together why every one of your colleagues has walked off the job, and also why everyone else in the galaxy has taken an impromptu vacation and left their spaceships just derelict in space. There's absolutely nothing going on outside of that. Certainly no implications of cosmic space horror that's erased nearly all life in the galaxy. So yeah, basically it's a survival, kind of a space survival, somewhat horror-y thing. Very minimalist in its presentation. Some of you know this already, but a quick summary is you command a fleet of drones and remotely search for various space derelicts. You gather information and fuel, look for scrap to keep everything working, and deal with various threats and hazards you find on the ships. The data you pull starts creating theories for why everyone's gone, but most of it's speculative, and there's no real plot per se. It's basically Waiting for Godot, but in space. Everything's fucked, and nothing left alive is in a talking mood. I did actually want to play Space Hulk. They re-released that with as Space Hulk Ascension, and they gave it more of a plot and such. I did want to try that out, but yeah, I was a fan of that. But anyway, yeah. Duskers is a game I get an itch to play every now and then, largely on how well it nails its gameplay and mood. It's such a tight execution of its concept. It's playable in kind of bite-sized chunks. It's almost perfectly repeatable and yet never wholly predictable from one ship to the next. It just kind of constantly reinforces that you're doing everything remotely, seeing only what your drones do, and limited by their range of motion. Anyway, let me make some adjustments here. One interesting little detail about starting a game fresh is that you're given this interface module, and when you replay the game, if you have to reset, because it is very possible, indeed likely, that you're going to probably lose your drones horribly trying to figure out how to play the game. When you hit reset, you do not get this upgrade to start with on subsequent playthroughs, and you have to find it again. And it's a pretty big bonus because it lets you work with terminals on the ships, and that lets you turn on defenses, scan for additional items and such. So it's actually advantageous to start a game fresh in this respect. But because you're likely to die, and because you sort of add to each theory piecemeal with each run, the only continuity that happens is if you reset and keep playing when you hit a brick wall. But anyway, let's go ahead and board our first ship here. So yeah, you've got our 3 drones. One of them has the interface and gather upgrade. One of them has a generator that'll power various nodes on the ship. And one of them has the tow module along with a motion tracker. So let's get on board. This is a starter vessel. It says right over here it's in good shape. There's no infestations on board to worry about, which is actually pretty rare. So yeah, I don't even know what's going on anymore. The boys down in R&D have cooked up a real strange something real sci-fi stuff. Not even sure how to describe it. Like a Terminator hand that goes inside a person's hand. I'm gonna check with human resources. Something even legal. It's gotta be, right? Get back to me if you hear any blah blah blah. Man, I'm bush just thinking about it. So, the loop is that every time you board a ship, you will access its computer and get information piecemeal about what's going on. Some of it will be relevant to various theories you develop. Some of it will just be flavor text as people react to the apocalyptic event or just other things going on various ships. But anyway, this is kind of a tactical view. From here, you can issue the same commands you would from each individual drone's view. And you can see here that you're limited by the drone's cone of vision, and you don't get a very clear picture either. Yeah, we're still in tutorial mode, so this lets us gather a piece of scrap. And that's a power inlet, so we can send our drone with the generator. And since there's no infestations on the ship, we won't need our motion tracker, but it's always a good policy to check rooms before you go in. Yeah, but they really are. They're basically here to gather scrap, which you need to purchase various upgrades. Now, what do we got here? Now, we got a wrecked drone right here. This one is too damaged for us to move or salvage. What we can do is check it for its inventory. You can see here, this one's got a trap module, which we can get, and a speed boost, which does work, but is also damaged. This, my friend, is, like I said, it's Work From Home Simulator 2014. We're basically space janitors, and some kind of apocalyptic event has happened to erase pretty much all life in the galaxy. So we have no idea what's going on. So we have two objectives. One, to search vessels for scrap with which we can keep everything working for a little while longer. And two, to check ship's computers to try to figure out what exactly happened. Exactly, yeah. This is very deliberately low-tech. The idea is that you're sitting at a terminal on your ship while you remotely send in the drones to investigate. What the heck's here? D3? Huh. That door doesn't want to open. Peculiar. But anyway, we've gotten everything we can from here, so let's send everybody back to the boarding vessel. And what I like here... Oh, get some weird spacebar fuckery here. What I like is you can issue the same set of commands from one view and the other. Oh, multiple drones can process command navigate. Ah, other way around. There we go. And yeah, you get a broad view of the ship from this view, whereas in here you can see specific terrain of a room and things that might be in it. Alright. It should have been. This is the tutorial ship, so that generator should have powered that generator should have powered everything. But anyway, we got everything we need from here. Alright, so we got a trap and a speed boost upgrade. One of them is damaged. And, not a bad bit of scrap, but no fuel here. So, let's see. We'll put this off for now. We'll put you off for now. The major conceit is that everything on your ship, including your drones, is constantly breaking down. And everything you take into a mission degrades a little bit. Like you can see over here the number of missions it was used on. The more you use something, the more likely it is to fail. And if you push it too hard, it will break and you won't be able to recover much scrap from it. Like you can recycle various pieces of equipment for additional scrap. The whole thing is about keeping enough scrap to keep everything going. So yeah, this thing's likely to break. It'd be very expensive to upgrade, but we can break it down for 3 scrap. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do that, because at this stage of the game, it's a little more trouble than it's worth to fix it up. You are pretty much constantly pressured for resources in this game. Either it's scrap or fuel or the equipment you need to safely check a ship. Now here we have one that has some kind of infestation type on board, so we're going to encounter some kind of enemy here. Let's send our boys in and see what we can find. Alright, no bits of computer information here. However, it does show that a dormant drone was found in room 2. This is maybe one we can cart back. Let's have a look. Now, one saving grace is that the starting room of the ship will be free of hostiles, and it will usually have one door open that will also be free. Alright. 2, why don't you go ahead and power on. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. The physical size of your drones is very much a consideration, so they'll need enough room to pass, and not every room will have a clear line for them to proceed. So occasionally you'll have to hop in and manually navigate. Alright, we've got another power inlet here. 3, why don't you go to room 5 and let's start checking for things. Ah, here we go. So, green is good, red is bad. Red means there's something in there that's moving around. Now, not every threat is mobile. Not everything will trigger the motion detector. But if there is something in there, it's almost certainly going to be something that will attack your drones. So you want to So a major tactic of this game is to open doors, funnel stuff into other rooms, and then carefully manage the threats on board the ship. Because they will eventually investigate an open door. Yeah, the door was trying to close on it. So now that room should be clear. Ah, excellent. This drone is intact, so we should be able to tow it. Alright. Ooh, he's got a teleport. Nice. Alright. So long as this adjoining room is clear, I'm going to send the first drone in here. That's another airlock. Very good, very good. So far, so good. You know what? Let's have some fun with this. Yep. Yeah, a big strategy is basically locking potential threats in various rooms so you can proceed around them. This gets harder as ships get more complex, and doors will sometimes malfunction. I'm gonna do a little something special here. You will note that room 6 has an airlock. So we're going to open D3. See, now here we go again. What the heck? What I was going to do is funnel it into R6 and run the airlock. Weird. Alright, let's try this. So basically, yeah, one possible way of getting threats off the ship is to lure them into a room with an airlock and then space them. It requires you having access to the power in that room, which can sometimes be tricky. So, yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do. Actually, wait, we'll want to tow Zach out of there first. Alright. Motion one more time. Now we wait for our little friend, whatever it is. That was fast. Excellent. Now, time for some accommodations here. Nav1 R4, Nav2 R5. Now that R4 has been safely cleared. Aha! So the thing was guarding a fuel inlet. Nice. Ooh, we got some fuel out of that. Excellent. Alright. 2. I'm sorry, sir. We don't have any more space on this ship. Ah, that's just a warning. Yeah, anything in a room where you open the airlock will be vented out into space almost immediately, so... yeah, motion detector is stopped, room's briefly exposed to vacuum, anything in there is probably destroyed. That includes any systems you didn't use yet, so always make sure you can afford to sacrifice anything in a room before you vent anything in there out to space. But, we cleared the ship, so let's tow our new drone friend and return back to the ship. Now, this is going well so far, but... exactly, yeah. That's why you clear a room before you vent anything in there into space. That is odd. There might be some weird bug with the game. They did recently put out an update that I think implemented some kind of fan patch. Might have caused some issues with that. Alright. So yeah, we've got our drone friend here. And we've got the scrap to fix him up, so we might as well... we'll repair him to full and we'll put him on standby. good idea to have some drones in reserve, not least because if you lose your primary team, you're screwed unless you have backups. So, on to the next ship. Like I said, this is going well so far, but when things go wrong, they go wrong quickly. So, calculating risk quickly becomes part of the game. So, onto a government ship. Alright, nothing new. Scrap found in R2. Right. My understanding is that the drones degrade at a fixed rate depending on how often they're deployed for missions, so it's less about what they do in a mission and more whether they are used at all. And they don't lose hit points or anything, but the more they're used, the more likely they are to start losing their video feed or have other mechanical problems. Alright, now in here, we do have a computer interface we can use. Let's take a look. Ooh, defenses. Alright, so there's a turret somewhere on board the ship. Let's have a look. Alright, turret's in R6. Good. 3 give us a motion. Ooh. So there's a threat in R6, and rather conveniently, we have a turret there. Outstanding. 1. Punish him. Turrets you gotta be careful with because they will fire at anything in there, including your drones, so you can't just leave defenses running. Now, let's see what we were dealing with. Ooh, okay. So apparently the threat in here was an enemy robot because it dropped scrap when they killed it. And this is what I kind of like about the presentation of this game because you're looking at a feed of the drone, you're not really getting a clear picture of what enemies are. They do have distinct outlines and different attack patterns, but by the time you see something, it's usually too late to react to it, so you sort of have to position and plan carefully. So, here's another issue. You see those yellow motion tracker lines? That is inconclusive. That means we can't properly scan them, so it's possible that there are threats in there that are roaming about. So what we're going to do is open these doors here, give it a few minutes for anything to wander in, and then we can assume that's clear. Different threats will take different amounts of time to start exploring, and some of them are more likely to be baited in by your drones than they are an empty room, but eventually something will move in if it can. So, let's check this next one. Easy does it. Ah! Another broken drone. Getting a lot of these. Hey, another interface. Sick. Alright. Yep. Yeah, it's a game I like coming back to. It's unfortunately, there's not a lot to it besides this. This is the main gameplay loop, and this is pretty much what you'll be doing from one ship to the next. There are different upgrades you get, and the lore things you unlock start to paint a pretty interesting picture. But the basic gameplay doesn't change much from one ship to the next. So it's not only plays well in short bursts, it's kind of ideal to play in short bursts. It's a very moody game. It's the kind of thing you do need to be... You do kind of have to be looking for a sort of tactical, kind of isolating feel to a game. And everything about this just emphasizes the fact that you are alone and your situation is perilous. You're kind of, your survival's kind of on a knife's edge from one ship to the next. Alright, looks like that last room is clear. Oh! Spoke too soon. See, you gotta be careful. Because, yeah, that thing's moving back and forth between R2 and R8. So, let's shut the door as soon as it moves back out. Nice. Alright. One, go ahead and gather all. I'm gonna have my coffee here. Yeah, good bit of fuel. Good bit of scrap. Nice. Alright, what we're going to do is lure that drone, that enemy drone, back into R6 and turn the defenses on. Oop. Got a little ahead of myself there. 2 has to make it back to the other generator. Alright. Alright, just chill for a minute and wait for that drone to come back. Aha! Got him! Oh, I must have killed it right in the door frame. Alright. Yep, there's our boy. Enemy drones are one of the few threats that it's actually kind of worth your time to deal with, specifically because they're the only ones that drop scrap. Everything else is basically kind of managing a diminishing pile of resources, so occasionally you'll get stuff like turret guns and mines and other things that can deal with mobile threats, but it's essentially costing you money to defend yourself, so you're constantly looking for no-cost ways to safely clear a ship. Oh, crap, you're right, I'm sorry. My bad, my bad. Yeah, I forgot about that, that's okay. Alright, we'll drop the trap there. We'll drop the interface there. Actually, we've already got one. Why not, yeah. We'll start laying traps for these things. Once you start building a good gear lead, you can get a little bit more aggressive in how you search ships, and... Oh, here we go. Can't find it anywhere. What do you mean by that? I mean, it's not on the servers anymore. Well, different. Different how? It looks like someone's attempted to access it, or activate it. I mean, maybe something paranoid or something. We had a power surge recently. Could it be that? Jesus. I'm gonna have to contact Zoe and tell her the Muteki archives are compromised, aren't I? Man, something screwed up. So yeah. Muteki is a name that'll come up every now and then. They're kind of the futuristic megacorp that's behind one of the plot lines of this game, or storylines, I should say. Alright, so one threat type on here. Now, you probably noticed by now that the basic template of this starting room is pretty much the same from one ship to the next. It will always have a generator. It will always have one door open. There are some things it must have, otherwise the game would be basically unwinnable. Alright, so this ship's a little bit bigger than the last one. Let's test out this trap. Oh yeah, they get into... They've got their fingers in, like, AI and matter replicators, and there's open concerns. What we got here? Ooh, remote power. Alright. And there's, like, open concerns about a Grey Goose situation. Yeah, I think each starter ship assumes a default loadout of assumes a very basic default loadout and prepares itself accordingly. So you probably could design the game where you don't necessarily have the same setup at every point of entry, at the starting point of entry. Anyway, so we've laid a trap for our little friend in room 5. Oh, okay, it's remotely detonated. That's why. I thought it was proximity. Alright. Trap, boom. Nice. Hey, another drone. Excellent. So yeah, in the event that your drones do have to come in direct contact, it's a situation where you basically want to have... You want to know exactly where the thing is coming through. You want to have a drone pointed in that direction with a weapon armed and ready to go. Anytime you have to react to a surprise development, it's almost certainly going to be an unpleasant one. Alright, everything looks okay here. There's another interface terminal. Alright. Hey! Oh, shit! Oh, shit, we have a drone named Hal. Oh, now we got problems. I think we'll be okay so long as we don't plug it into the computer or anything. Alright. For convenience's sake, we are going to relocate our boarding vessel to A2. Alright, now 3R1. Oh, shit. My bad. Generally speaking, you've got enough charges to last beyond the duration of the device. More likely, your motion detector is going to break down before you actually run out of charges, and you can spend scrap to refill limited use items. So, that's fine. But still, it's generally a good idea to be judicious in the things you use because, like I said, everything is constantly breaking down. So, let's see what we can see in here. Aha! Thought so. Alright, now because whatever was in this room left, normally you're pretty safe in investigating. That's good. Alright. Cool. Alright. And nothing else in there. Alright. Alright, gentlemen. Let's boogie. Alright, cool. Alright, now we actually had a ship module on there, which is remote power. Your ship gains various functionality that can be used in various ways. In this case, this lets you remotely turn a generator on, which can be useful if you can't actually reach it. This falls into the same restrictions, however. It eventually starts wearing down, you have to start repairing it to keep using it, which has its own costs. And eventually your ship itself starts to suffer malfunctions if you don't periodically maintain it. So, we'll leave Hal there for now, but because we have a drone and a pretty good supply of scrap, let's bring Zach into here. It's not a bad idea to have a drone that's just there to carry excess gear. You've only got a handful of slots, so you need to be judicious in what you pick up. Now, as you can see, we've gotten all ships in this sector. So now we go to the next system. So yeah, each of these costs a set number of jump fuel. And yeah, every time you jump between systems, your propulsion fuel recharges. This does not apply to your reserve tank. So yeah, you have a finite number of ships you can explore in a given system. Like you said, like it says, a propulsion is 6 out of 6 with 3 in reserve. And it looks like it costs 3 to get to that ship. This one's got 2 infestation types on it. Let's check out this military ship. So once you go to a new system, you sort of have to plan your... Oh, fuck. I goofed. There's always one where you start, and... Yeah, you want to start with that ship. My bad, my bad. But anyway, yeah, you want to plan your route through a system carefully to hit as many ships as you can while your fuel supply holds. Your propulsion fuel regenerates whenever you make a jump. You have a set number of jumps you can make before you have to restart the game, so you're just constantly looking for fuel. Anyway, let's check out this guy here. So this ship has been around for a while. Looks like it's been about 8 months. Adrift. And so in addition to threats on the ship, you might start dealing with problems with the ship itself. Doors might malfunction, pipes might burst and flood a room with radiation. Yeah. Sequence of events simply doesn't add up. Something from the loss of contact, and nothing suggests there was a disturbance in space-time. Whoever wrote this report are only seeing things that they want to see. Linking with theory index cosmic event. Space-time and uncertainty suggest cosmic anomaly as cause of existential risk. The objective truth is that readings present an element of specificity that is not often found in nature. They something a pattern. A pattern. First loss of communication, then loss of location. Something will require further military investigation. Alright, let's take a look at this ship. Okay, go ahead and power the generator on, gather the scrap. Now, because there are 2 threat types on this ship, a major asset you have once you understand what you're dealing with is knowing how it moves and what the best countermeasures are. With 2 threat types on the ship, your information is going to be limited. So discovering one and, figuring out, alright, this one responds to traps or lures, this one is more likely to explore empty rooms than others, that might not necessarily apply to to another type. So let's move you out of R3, which conveniently is near an airlock. Doors open, airlocks. Yeah, no, that makes sense. There are almost certainly ways you could mix up the starting room of a vessel, and some of the later game's objectives, getting to different types of theories, do require you to perform certain tricks that are potentially very difficult. Like one of the theories involving corporate ships requires you to commandeer a vessel without actually powering it on. Now, there are upgrades which let you force open doors without hitting the power generator, but that requires a pretty specific combination of equipment. You need motion sensors to clearly determine the threats. You need weapons with which to dispose of them, because obviously you can't hurl them to the airlock because you can't pry one open without losing the drone. And other ones that require you to lure a threat into your boarding craft in order to scan it, and other things that suggest a depth of play that isn't necessarily evident at a glance. There is a... Hang on a second. Oh, shit! Okay. Alright, that's a drone. And it's in a room with a turret. Now, fortunately, drones are one of the slower threats, so you do have some time to react before it opens fire. But as you can see, the information we had is limited. We safely ejected one threat into space, neglecting whether there was another one in there. So let's... Actually, we'll... Who's got the mines? Number 4, go ahead. There we go. Got him. Alright, so one of the threat types is a drone. And that's good. Like I said, that's one of the easier, more profitable enemies to actively hunt at, to actively seek out and eliminate. 96. You can vent drones. I just wanted to... I figure I've already got a trap that I'm using, so I might as well use it up and collect scrap from it. There ways to start the map up. Can also build arbitrary complex maps. Sure, so yeah. That makes sense. Hang on a second. Alright, let's move our generator drone up. Very good. Oop. There actually was an article not too long ago by the developers talking about their next project. It didn't sound like it'd be any kind of sequel or similar in gameplay. They didn't really talk much about the actual game, but I'm kind of interested to see what these developers do next, because this is... Oh, what do we got here? Oh, another reroute power. We already got one, but we can grab this one for scrap and reuse. So... 3R7. But yeah, the main thing I like about it is just it's kind of this interesting little experiment in remote management of a team of drones as you explore a ship. Nav 3R1. Like with the Nauticrawl review, I've got a soft spot for games that put a layer of abstraction between you and the game world so that you're not necessarily seeing everything you would normally see in like an action or adventure game or even a normal strategy game. You have to rely on limited information. And 3R7. And you're constantly working with an incomplete picture of what's going on the ship. Exactly, yeah. You don't necessarily understand what you're dealing with. Oh, shit. Creaking is bad. Creaking is real bad. R3. Okay, good. Fortunately, we're not going to be in there. But, yeah, when you hear the ship creak, that usually means a pipe's about to burst, and that means radiation's going to start flooding your room. That's a problem, because radiation damages your drones, and the more it floods in, the faster it damages them. So you want to isolate that room as soon as possible, and if you're on a particularly old ship, you start feeling a time pressure to get in, explore everything you can, and get out. Alright. Now, just in time, too. That message at the very end meant that an airlock seal was failing. So that's another thing you gotta watch out with older ships. Because if that happens, you can write that room off completely. And any adjacent room if the doors happen to be open. Alright. Now then. Alright, this is starting to break down. I think I'll risk it. I'll try one more deployment. We'll hang on to you. Alright, this is a government ship. Off we go. Alright, just one infestation type, but it is a volatile ship. No new communications. Let's move in. Now, see, this is what I was talking about with the geometry of a level. Your tactical view won't display obstacles that physically obstruct your drones. You'll have to jump into them and manually navigate them to do so. Their pathfinding is usually pretty good, but the more they bump up against each other, the more they form a kind of awkward conga line. So you will have to occasionally finagle things personally. That's the thing, yeah. They talk about some pretty high concept science fiction, but most of the tech you directly work with is all pretty plausible and grounded. Like, there's not a lot here that wouldn't, strictly speaking, be doable with... maybe not necessarily with our tech, but within a generation or two of space travel, we would absolutely be capable of doing something like this, of remotely commanding a team of drones performing very specialized tasks on a ship. Right, yeah, they have a hard time recognizing each other when they move around. Alright, easy does it. So, let's... yeah, I do kind of like that you're basically commanding a fleet of space roombas. Alright, looks like that. Everything's okay in here. I did not, but that sounds amusing. I suspect the robot is starting to understand human treachery. Alright, ship upgrade, collector. Now, this is interesting. This upgrade we can't tow back to our ship, but if we were to commandeer this vessel, which is doable under the right circumstances, we would get this collector upgrade. Which, I'm not sure, I think that increases the scrap you get, or... hang on a second. What does that do? Ah, doesn't say. I think you need it installed before it tells you. But yeah, yeah, you'll find various other ships out there, and if they're in decent enough shape, you can take them over once you've safely cleared them. Alright, so how about this? Let's move deeper into this big fella. Alright, that looks okay. Easy does it. Oh yeah, this is a big ship here. Interesting. I'm curious about this, yeah. Because I'm very interested in how those things maneuver and how well they actually serve as vacuum cleaners. I've never actually seen one in action personally, but it's a fascinating little gizmo. And of course, they make a fine chariot for any cats that happen to be in the room. Okay, so this is tricky, because we don't have a good read on these neighboring rooms, and that's a problem. So what we're gonna do... Alright. Number 4. Let's prepare a little surprise here. They are loyal robots. Hey, we got raiders. Hey, welcome. Good to have y'all. Welcome to Space Janitor Simulator 2014. I think that's when this came out, I'm assuming. I believe it is 2014. Alright. I don't see anything here, so I'm gonna be a little bit bold here. I will send the first drone in to check those rooms. How's it going? What were you streaming? Hey, there's a fuel thing. I know it will do exactly that. Nice. Collection of Final Fantasy? Nice, nice. Which ones were you playing? Alright, I think we're basically clear. Cool, cool. Yep. Before we got stuck on there again. What the fuck? Oh, shit! Shit, shit, shit. I got cocky. Alright, everybody haul ass. We gotta get out of here. Fucking move! Move, 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 move! Fuck! Hell of a place for a choke point. Alright, let's get the fuck out of here. I don't even know if I got it. Whatever it was right on me. Okay, yeah. Whew. Whatever hit us, it hit us hard. First drone dropped to 30% health. Yeah. Of course it would happen right around... of course it would happen on the ship where there's a big box just to interfere with the drone's maneuvering. Okay. So yeah, first drone took a bit of a beating. Most likely that was a leaper, which is which is an organic threat. The big thing on is it literally moves too quickly to intercept. By the time it sees you, it will close ranked and attack. Your only chance is to hit it with a trap or hit it from the side. So one of the more dangerous threats. We were lucky. It can instantly destroy a drone if it has less than 90 hit points. Alright, have a good night. Thanks for coming. Good to see you. Alright, yeah, so let's fix our buddy up here. Alright. Looks like we got an automated trading post here. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, yeah. Alright. So yeah, every now and then you'll come across these robotic trading posts. They have a limited amount of scrap, finite and randomly generated inventory, but as you can see here, stuff that's starting to take damage, that's starting to become unreliable, you can trade for the exact same scrap value. This robot has apparently not figured out the concept of quality of an item, it just cares about the quantity of an item. So, we're doing alright. No, motion's starting to deteriorate. Yeah, let's swap that out. And I think we'll be okay. This is the same scrap value you'd get if you just destroyed it, so it's basically just, here's an opportunity to swap your stuff out for something else. And once that's done, you do want to make sure you re-equip your drone. Here we go. Alright, let's check this ship. And see what we got here. Is it me, or is this happening way too fast and over too much space to be some form of attack? Not the only one thinking this, right? The situational evidence leans firmly towards some form of cosmic anomaly. Maybe a radiation storm, or some natural event. I'm going to send out a request to some of the something corrupted. Should get replies fairly sharpish. They'll want answers and won't care from who. Easier something the military too. If you can start to whittle down this mountain of possible theories, that would be great. Small warning before you dive in. Prepare some real weird shit. Linking with theory indexed cosmic event due to cosmic anomaly radiation storm. Recommended course of action. Gather additional observation and research outpost communications. So, yeah. GRB, gamma ray burst. So yeah, one of the possible theories is that some kind of bizarre cosmic anomaly is behind the galaxy effectively purging itself of all life except for yourself. Gates, all A1. And yeah, we can gather more information in this regard and see what's the surviving researchers, or at least formerly surviving researchers, were able to figure out. Yep, stars do that from time to time. Alright. So yeah, what's interesting is that getting information for one theory doesn't necessarily prevent the others. When we get out of this one, I'll show you the journal screen, and it'll show you the breakdown of the various things that could be happening. See, this doesn't help us. Alright, see what's back here. But yeah, there's theories like some kind of apex predator species, some kind of gray goo situation with nanoreplicators turning on humans, an AI uprising, all of it backed by various supplemental material you connect. Oop. You collect, I'm sorry. And it's not necessarily the case that any of it's proven right or wrong. It's all just conjecture. Like I said, there's no real plot to this game. There's no real development. It's all about a context for moving through. Interesting. My guess is there's a generator somewhere we don't have access to. Alright, let's try this. We'll open up, see if anything's in the adjoining room there, space it if it enters, and then go from there. But yeah, like I said, it's the kind of game you play in short bursts because you're in the mood for something like this. It is kind of fun to remotely control your drones and get sort of in character, because it does kind of feel like you're sitting at a keyboard watching a screen with very little hard information about what your little robot buddies are dealing with. Dense radiation in most observed GRBs is thought to be released during a supernova or superluminous supernova. And, okay, so we're copying a whole bunch. Yeah, so basically it's space tearing itself a new asshole, and anything nearby is going to be completely obliterated. Not fun. Not fun. Alright, there's that generator. Okay. Looking good, looking good. Ah, nice. Alright. Up you go. Ooh, door 8 broke. I gotta be careful there. The only real criticism I have of the story of this game, apart from the fact that it doesn't really go anywhere, is that it doesn't really inform the threats you face. Like, the drones, the leapers, and the other things you can potentially run across, they don't really depend on the story stuff you find. Like I said with the theories themselves, they all kind of exist at once, and since the game doesn't take a hard stance on what happened, there's any possibility you might run into robotic enemies on one ship, organic enemies on the next. There's no real consistency. It's just there's just a select pool of enemies you might encounter on a randomly generated ship. It doesn't seem to matter what story stuff you find. Alright, so we can't get a clean read on either of those rooms, and I don't think they said there was any drone left, so let's send everybody except the first drone back to the boarding ship. And 2, 3. Oop. 2, 3, 4, R1. I have not, no. I know the name, but that's about it. I'm assuming it's kind of thematically appropriate here. Alright, that takes care of that system. So yeah, over here in the objectives, you get a basic rundown of what the theory is. Some of the communications you find, like I said, are just lore entries, while some get filed under specific events. Like here's the theory for cosmic event. Quoting existential risk theory, cosmic event. It's clear that given our nascent understanding of the universe, there are dangers we do not understand, like a fisherman setting out on the ocean unaware of typhoons. These cosmic events could therefore make themselves evident at any moment. Then there are various advancements in technology, many of which could trigger such an event before we fully understand what we've done, and it could be impossible to get that genie back in the bottle. Kind of similar to this in terms of what you do. The gameplay is more immersive sim style, first person. Oh, that does sound kind of fun. Yeah, I kind of like games where you can enjoyably play them in small doses and come back to every now and then just to get a fix at the gameplay, but don't necessarily hold up. Or don't necessarily demand your entire weekend. Alright, so let's go to this next system. Alright. So what's on the Bellerophon? I think I'll clear the ships in this sector and we'll call it a night. So let's see what's on this medical freighter. Space bastards, I'll keep an eye on that. Alright. Jed, this message is from the emergency relays, forwarding in its entirety. I had to let the bodies go. I had to get them off the ship and minimize the risk of infection. I've relayed the situation to all ISHO outposts. Hopefully they can get the data I need to understand the pattern and stop this from spreading further. I need to get to my lab. We don't have much time. Dr. J. Holmes. Linking with Theory Index, Pandemic, Infection, and Bodies suggest further inquiry. ISHO cross-reference. International Space Health Organization. Recommended course of action. Investigate medical communications for further data. So, once again, we have a game about a pandemic, and now it's in space. Fantastic. One might almost think there's a kind of pattern for the games I'm drawn to. Alright, anyway, let's take a look here. Easy does it. Aw, thanks, Orange. Good to see ya. How's it going? Alright. Ooh, we got us a big ship here. Alright. Ah, you got a headache? Man. Strategic option. Open door 33, D33, try to herd enemies out into scannable room D2. Yeah, this is just telling you, if you can't scan a room, open neighboring rooms and try to lure anything in there. Or if you got an unscannable room, open doors to... Weird. But yeah, I broadly like what this game does. It's lends itself well to just playing for about an hour or so. If you only got like a few minutes, you can just do in and get one ship done. It has a kind of engaging gameplay loop where you're always just, I can squeeze one more ship in. It front loads the information when you board a ship, so it kind of, like I said, the story and gameplay elements are kind of mechanically separated. Oh shit. Ah, fuck. Alright. Been riding our drones a little too hard. One lost its video signal. It'll eventually come back, but it's a bit of an issue. Alright. Looks like this room is clear. Alright. Video signal's back online. Good. So yeah, as you start having problems with your drones, you'll have to lean more and more on either your tactical view to work around that, or if your ship starts having problems, you'll have to navigate individual drones without a bird's eye view of the whole ship. So, we got us a hostile here. Problem is, I don't know if the adjoining rooms are safe. Let's get you out of there. Now, one thing you want to be careful about, that little blue thing we just passed, that's a vent. One of the threat types can use the vent to travel around through the ship, and I think it might actually spawn a particular threat if they're on here. There's like this weird alien swarm thing that's a pain in the ass to destroy, and if there's a vent on the ship and they're one of the threats there, it can continuously spawn from there. So some of them will just constantly put pressure on you until you finish your business, or unless you're heavily armed, capable of dealing with that kind of thing. So let's leave a little package for our friend here. Nice. Get fucked. Alright, up we go. Ship upgrade, decontaminate. Alright. What are you, my little friend? Leapers, okay. Yeah, that's the thing that hit our drone a few ships back. Now, he's burly enough to take it, but like I said, you need to be real careful with these things. 'Cause if they get the drop on you, you're pretty much screwed. So, let's open this here adjoining room. Easy does it. Pretty much, yeah. If you get a decent look at it in action, it looks like some kind of weird Zergling thing with very big pincers on the front. Like I said, you don't really get a good look at any of the creatures you deal with until they're already dead, at which point they look kind of misshapen and obviously in no condition to be a problem. But even when they're up and moving around, you're kind of left to fill in the blanks about what these things really look like. Basically, yeah. Ah, fuck. Alright, what's going on? Alright, close doors to airlocks just in case something starts going. Fuck! Shit. Alright, that's a problem. Now, we can still get people out, but... no, it'll be easier if we do this. Yeah, radiation leak has cut our drones off, so we have to reposition our boarding craft. Now, fortunately, there's an airlock right over here. Nice. Alright. Just... alright, check this room, and then we'll get out of here. Theoretically, any ship you board is living on borrowed time, but the longer the ship's been adrift in space, the more quickly it'll start to develop hazards. So it's always in your best interest to move quickly, but as we saw a few ships back, moving quickly means taking more risks and exposing your drones to more danger. And until you get a good supply of reserve drones and Excuse me. So you get a good supply of reserve drones. A single mission going bad can basically end your run entirely. But we're doing alright. We got a pretty good scrap reserve. Let's fix Zach up here. And let's fix this drone's video feed. Yeah, I'll do one more ship and we'll call it a night. Let's take a look at this pandemic objective. Coding existential risk theory pandemic. Alright, have a good night, Octal. Thanks for coming. Only an extremely virulent pathogen with a perfect storm of attributes would suffice as an existential risk. This seems less likely given the distributed nature of a spacefaring civilization. However, there may be means of transmission that we are unaware of. So yeah, I kind of like how the different theories are written. Like I said, it's written with an eye towards the current understanding of science and technology, and even though we're in the far future where space travel has been trivialized, it's like Ivory said, it's the aliens type future where the equipment is... it has a very lived-in feel to it. It feels like you're not necessarily working with state-of-the-art equipment. Or sufficient number. Yeah, exactly. It's my right if I want to carry the Doom virus Alpha Centauri 4. And who are you to say otherwise, space government? But it does kind of make you wonder, like, what kind of... What's that? I hear something. That sounded like treads. We might be dealing with drones. Oh yeah, we got a big boy here. You're huge. That must mean your scrap is huge too. Loot and pillage. Ahead, there you go. Some of these are pretty tight quarters and become impractical to move your drones around. So you sort of have to make do. That's good. Yeah, essentially a ship will never have more than its max capacity for scrap, and obviously most of them are going to have much less. I think the rule of thumb is basically the most it can have is about a fourth or a fifth of its scrap capacity. I forget if it's hard-coded that way or what, but that's roughly been my experience. Okay, nothing has come through, so let's take a look. Fuck! Jesus! Fuck! Oh, God, that got me good. Okay, alright. Yeah, boy here's taking some damage, and his video feed is not doing well. So we're gonna make this guy kiss the void. He's got a taste for metal now. That thing's on the hunt. Come on, you little shit. I know you're in there somewhere. You don't want to come to room 10? I'm gonna make room 10 come to you. Excuse you while you kiss the void, bitch. Now, that basically vented anything that was in D11, but... Aw, really? Damn, that thing is sturdy. Okay. Alright. I was trying to be careful about it, so... Oh, I think I see why. It must have been in room 13 for a minute there. Damn it. And that might be why it's not coming into room 10. Fuck. Okay. Shit. Alright, let's try this one more time. If it doesn't work, we bug out and call it even. God damn, there's a spare drone in room 2, too. Room 2 as well. But God only knows what's waiting for us in room 6 and everywhere else. So yeah, the game does a pretty good job of ramping up the pressure after that initial tutorial system. You really don't know what you're going to get from one system to the next. And even once you clearly understand all the possible threats, and there really aren't that many, but even once you understand the systems, the combination of limited information, various enemy attack patterns, your limited ability to deal with mobile threats, and the fact that everything is constantly wearing down on everything is constantly breaking down, results in a pretty steady incline of pressure. The game, like I said, when things start going wrong, it can very quickly turn a good run into a complete catastrophe. So there's a constant source of pressure, and you never quite know if the ship you're going into is going to give you what you need to proceed or hold only death and despair. And yeah, obviously it's the kind of game you don't really go into to have a pick-me-up, but if you're looking for kind of a tense, engaging experience as you navigate systems, as you basically role-play someone sitting at a computer giving orders remotely, this hits that mood very strongly. And I think this leaper's not going to oblige me by coming into room 10. So you know what? Fuck these guys, fuck their ship, we're out of here. And of course, we can't leave without saying goodnight. You gotta watch yourself when you're in space, my friend. I hear it really sucks to have an airlock failure. Ho-ho! Fuck you, fuck your ship. Goodbye. So yeah, kind of took a shellacking there, but that's okay. We live to... Sometimes all you can do is live to fight another day. And that's kind of why I like this game. Like I said, it's very easy to get in, start playing, keep playing for a little bit, take a break, come back, and let the core gameplay loop refresh itself. Lose yourself in the narrative for a while and come back. And because there's no real plot advancement to worry about, it's mostly just getting the feel and the flavor of the universe right. And I think this is a game that very clearly strikes the tone it's looking for, and does so with a high degree of skill. And so, yeah, I really do enjoy playing this game. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I'm really glad to have you all here. Still not sure what I'm going to be doing for my next Saturday project. Next week, I'll be doing mostly horror stuff. Debating whether I want to play the Fatal Frame 5, which finally got a Steam port, or it's coming out on Tuesday, or a game that got recommended to me called In Sound Mind, which seems like a little more cerebral, psychological horror thing. But yeah, I want to do something fun for Halloween. I will keep you all posted. Thanks for coming in. Have a good night. And because this apparently went without comment, I'm going to change Zach's name to something a little more thematically appropriate. I am 15 forever. Thank you all.